them I'm Christ-like. They envision modern Christian. It's not a considered the greatest spitting. I tell them I'm Christ-like. They envision modern Christian. Tell them I'm nothing like check conditions of how I'm living. I preach Christ. We ain't fake delivering. Listen, Candy man, soon as they. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. We live, y'all. We live. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, man? I had to get my mic right, man. Man, y'all see tonight's topic, man. I want to talk about this whole Kamala Harris, Donald Trump debate last night, man. Let's talk about this debate, man. Y'all share this out to a friend. You know what I mean? Y'all know the routine. Get in here, like it up, share this out to a friend. You know what I mean? So we can start having this conversation, man. Let me get my people over here from Facebook into the chat so we can get tonight's discussion underway. You already know. So y'all give me a second. Let me get my people over here. Let me share this out to the Facebook for a second, y'all. Give me a second. Share this out to a friend. All right, y'all. So y'all seen the debates last night, man. Give me a second. Gate. Give me a second, y'all. All right. Share the link. Let's get this to Facebook. Y'all. Oh yeah, there we go. We in Facebook. Trying to get these, you know, we gotta get this out to everybody so we can have this discussion. All right, there we go. So what's up, man? You already know, man. This your boy Saint Reese, man. This is the Gutter Insane Live, man. The Gutter Insane Podcast Live, the Rebuttal Live show. And y'all see by the thumbnail, man, we're going to be talking about this Kamala Harris, Donald Trump debates last night, man. How y'all feel about those debates, man? Man, I thought it was interesting. It was very interesting to me. Not only was it interesting, I knew it was going to be the same old jargon. They's going to throw shots at each other, you know, come at each other's characters, you know, talk about stuff that they should have done when they was already president. Because look, Donald Trump was president prior to the Biden-Harris administration, and Kamala Harris is on here talking about what she's going to do when she becomes president, but she's vice president now, and she can make things shake. By the way, before I get into that, it's funny that I hear people say, "Well, the vice president don't have no power to do anything." Be quiet. Be quiet. The vice president have the power. If the vice president didn't have no power, there wouldn't be no need for that role. The vice president have power to make some things move and shake. So let's get that out of the way first of all. So yeah, man. Hop down the chat, man. Let me know how y'all doing. Let me know where you're tuning in from before we hop in here. Before we continue to go. Well, I'm trying to bring everything up. Let me bring everybody up. Make sure I can see all the comments. Yeah, man. Let me know what y'all think about that. Let me know what y'all think. Oh, there we go. There we go. First, I couldn't see y'all comments, but there we go. There we go. So yeah, man. Now y'all know I am not. I don't vote. I don't. I'm not into the political stuff. I just know enough to have a conversation about a lot of stuff that's going on. I'm neither for. I'm not for either candidate, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. I'm for neither one. I believe that is they both is just winging it. They just winging it. These people didn't vote for Kamala Harris. All the people that sing her praises now, they didn't vote for her or sing her praises back when she ran in 2020. And now they coming on here acting like she's Wonder Woman. Like she's the great. Like if y'all felt this type of way for her now, y'all should have felt that type of way for her. Back then, what changed? And I know everything is just to keep Trump out of office. I know. That's pretty much what it boils down to. Is to keep Trump out of office. Now, like I said, I am not a Trump supporter. Y'all know how I feel about Trump. I've made plenty of podcasts, in regards to, where I stand with Trump. But I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. Um, Kamala Harris dismantled Trump last night. Kamala Harris dismantled Trump last night. She gave Trump the business last night. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Y'all know I made a lot of podcasts, coming at Kamala Harris. I've made a lot of podcasts coming at Kamala Harris, but I have to say, last night Kamala Harris gave Trump the business. Yes, she did. Kamala Harris gets, and if anybody think otherwise, then you must be living under a rock. Um, Now I want to get into some of my points, some of my notes that I got it, that I got here, that I took on on the debates, and it was a typical stuff that we are. It was pretty predictable for me, mainly because I kind of know the Democrats and the Republican script. They've been doing the same script. Fearmong, fearmong, fearmong. That's what they always do. They fearmong, they fearmong, they fearmong. And that's pretty much what they all started with. And Kamala Harris, she did something very smart when they first started off. She said, "Yeah, he's going to talk about immigration, even though immigration is not going to be the topic, and he's going to talk about I think his rallies or something like that, even though that's not the topic." And sure enough, she baited him into that. She said what she said. She said he's always talking. If she invites you to go to one of his rallies, and you'll notice that people start leaving, and then she baited him right into that, and then he started talking about his rallies. Now let me tell y'all why I believe Kamala Harris dismantled Trump in that whole election. The reason why Kamala Harris mainly won is because she was proactive instead of being reactive. Trump was very reactive and very defensive. And Kamala Harris played on that, which was a good play. Very, 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 very good play on Kamala Harris' behalf. Shout out to her publicist, or shout out to the people who her media team that counted her on that, because they did a good job. Trump should have got a media team, because Kamala Harris literally baited Trump into everything she knew he was going to get defensive on, making him look pretty much like a damsel in distress. And he reacted, and he and it was very defensive on everything. And Kamala Harris played on that, man, which was very smart, which was very smart. And then another thing that Kamala Harris did that was very I didn't like, but it was a very good strategy. And it's the same thing that they always do. They talked about this. She talked about the Central Park Five. Now, here's the crazy thing about the Central Park Five, and I know a lot of people they was bringing that up on social media, and I'm like, man, listen, the Central Park Five, was prosecuted by the Democrats. See, they never want to bring that up. The prosecutor Feinstein, Linda Feinstein or Feinberg or something like that, they never want to bring up the fact that that the Central Park Five was prosecuted by the Democrats. Now, what Trump did in the '80s, early '90s, and all that stuff. Listen, stop bringing that stuff up. The reason why they keep bringing up old stuff with Trump is because they don't have nothing new on them. People evolve, people change. I'm not saying he may not still carry them sentiments towards Central Park Five, but that was 40 years ago. So she played the same. Even though her strategy was smart, I believe it was smart. That doesn't mean I agree with it. I don't agree. It's the same old rhetoric. It's the same old tactics that the Democrats is doing. The same thing. They have the same playbook. They got to bring up his rhetoric, and then they brought up January 6th, the Capitol insurrection. Now, the thing about that, Trump had me tight when he said and during the election, talking about, I mean, not the election, the debates, when he said, well, those cops was very bad cops, and the person who unalived and Babbitt was he was rogue or something like that. And I'm like, nah. See, here's the crazy thing, man, and this is the reason why I didn't agree, because you see how those Republicans call the cop that was defending the White House. They called him a criminal. They called him a monster, and because it was a white woman that was doing something she shouldn't have been doing. Now, I don't condone how she went out, but at the end of the day, they was protecting the White House, and ultimately she unalived. But you see how they call them cops monsters and predators and stuff like that. But when it happens to an innocent black person, is how black people get gunned down by cops all the time. They call them heroes. That kind of when Trump played on that, when he talking about that cop that unalived Babbitt was a predator, a monster. That threw me off, and then that had me kind of tight with Trump. I'm like, oh yeah, man. He's playing that. He's playing that. He's playing them games again. But that was one of the things that again. My you know what? Let me say this too. I was told today. I really thought her name was Kamala Harris, but apparently it's Kamala Harris. So, pardon me if y'all hear me keep on saying Kamala, because I'm trying to get used to, calling her Kamala. I thought it was Kamala because that's what I'm so used to hearing. So, pardon me. I apologize in advance that if I slip up and call her Kamala, chalk it up to my ignorance, not to my heart. So, I'm gonna say Kamala. I'm gonna try to say Kamala. So Kamala played a very great strategic game dismantling Trump last night. She pretty much bullied the bully. Yes. Kamala Harris bullied the bully last night in them debates. And I'm gonna tell you how she did it. Like I said, she was proactive instead of reactive. She kept Donald Trump on the defensive. She kept Donald Trump being reactive, and she stuck to her points. You ain't got to agree with her points. You don't have to agree with her stance. You ain't got to agree with her policies. The thing is, you got to listen. You got to call a win a win, even if let's say one of your favorite teams is playing your favorite basketball team is playing another team. If it's a heck of a game and your team lost, you got to give that other team that is credit. Like, man, you know what? That team played a good game. Kamala Harris played a good game. She played a good game, and you can't even knock her for that, to be honest. You cannot knock Kamala Harris by how she played Trump. Trump should have been a little bit smarter and not be defensive, but reactive about his policies, reactive about what he's going to do when he become president again, and the things that he stand on. And then she got to talking about Vladimir Putin, and then he, like Trump, all we do, I have good relationships with those people over there with Vladimir. I know him very well. He's a good friend of mine. She's a clown. You see, excuse me, my bad, y'all. Um, Trump was, she ultimately, Trump played into Kamala Harris tricks, which was a good trick. Now, my last point, man, that I wanted to touch on was they was talking a lot about Israel. They got to talking about the migrants. They got to talking about you know, Ukraine, and then the there's a lot of European nations and what they plan on doing specifically for those nations. Now, what got me tight was they didn't mention black people. Now, I expect that from Trump, Republicans not to mention black people. I expect it. But Kamala Harris didn't mention not one thing about helping black people. And that is a problem. You see, and she's playing the black card. She's been Indian all her career, and now that she's vice president and possibly can be the president. Now she's black, but she don't have no black agenda. And then I'm reminded of when she said that she's not gonna give black people reparations, but she's over here promising all the stuff she's going to help do. To support Israel, to support all these other European nations, and support some of these Arab nations and the migrants, and ultimately women. She have a plan to do something with all this, but never did she mention one thing about anything for black people. And that right there it really kind of like made me like and like I said, I expect the Republicans not to do nothing. But they do. The Republicans do what they have to do for the Republicans, and I get that. The Democrats, they play a card they play this card with black people, and and that card is just emotionalism and fear mongering, and that's how they get black people to vote year in and year out with the Democrats. It's fear mongering and empty promises, and black people is still playing into it. Now the play is just women. That's why everything is about women empowerment, but they're going to use that to do what they got to do for these other people, such as the folk over there, Israel, and all them other Middle Eastern people over there that's looking for America for aid. And like I said, I believe those people do need aid, but those people aren't voting for the Democrats. The Democrats ain't pandering to them for votes. The Democrat is pandering to black people for votes. So you're pandering for black people for votes, but don't have no agenda and don't plan on doing nothing for black people. And you black people is still going over there at the end of the day. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna like that. I know a lot of people ain't gonna like that. They ain't gonna like that. They ain't gonna like the fact that I said that. But you can't. Enough is enough with the Democrats. Enough is enough, man. But yeah, man, what y'all think about? What y'all think about what's going on over there, man? What y'all think about what's going on? Let me know.